An integrated man isn't a better man or a different man. It's just a man who can accept every part of himself and let the world see. Oh, fuck, they thought that looked good when they left the house today. Oh man, that person needs to lose weight. Oh man, what were they thinking? I was just judging everybody I saw. And I just kind of had, almost a meltdown thinking, why am I being so judgmental of everybody? It was painful. Perfectionism is a lie. Any perfectionists in here? Any perfectionists? Got a few? Yeah, nice guys tend in that direction. Now, it's a lie, mainly because nothing's perfect. Most people I know that claim to be perfectionists, they're really imperfectionists. All they see is imperfection. They never actually see what's good and what's good enough. Those of you that were on the Alpha Brotherhood call know that we started a new series of lessons based on the aspirations of the integrated man. And just brief as a brief introduction, as you know, in No More Mr. Nice Guy, I talk about recovering from the nice guy syndrome. Let's us be integrated males or integrated men. And basically, that integration is that we can just integrate all aspects of ourselves, the parts that we like, the parts that we don't like so much, our assets and, our weaknesses and vulnerabilities. An integrated man isn't a better man or a different man. It's just a man who can accept every part of himself and let the world see every part of who he is. That's what integration is. That's the integrated male, integrated man. Now, when we launched Integration Nation and came up with the very clever name, Integration Nation, it's about integrated men. That's a tribe of integrated men, good men doing better. And I started revisiting, what does it mean to be an integrated man? I've had a presentation I've made in the past that had like 4 or 5 pillars of what it meant to be integrated: self-soothing, differentiation, and it had 4 or 5 pillars to it. But I started playing with it, and I came up with about 45 points, and I kind of just kept narrowing them down and came out to be about 16 aspirations. Now, an aspiration just means it's what we aspire to, right? We don't have to do it perfectly. We just are moving in that direction of being more of that thing. And I came up with 16 of these aspirations. They're in the Integration Nation members handbook. They'll probably keep evolving over time. A lot of the things I teach do keep evolving, but I decided to do a series of lessons on these over basically now going to be the next 14 weeks or so, and cover one of these aspirations a week. Last week, we talked about shame and acceptance. 3 key points from last week were: number 1, personal growth is a paradox. And that means trying to change actually gets in the way of change. And that self-judgment is a form of perverted control. We're going to talk a little bit more about judgment on this lesson. It's a perverted control. It's kind of like it gives us the illusion that somehow we have control of things when we really don't. We really don't. I have a t-shirt that says, "You're relaxed, nothing is in control." But our judgments keep us wrapped up thinking we can control this when we really can't. And then the third takeaway from the last lesson was accepting and loving our perceived flaws and imperfections is the most powerful way to change them, right? Working hard to, I don't like this about me, I want to change it, actually often works against us. Learning to relax into and love those things about ourselves that we tend to judge and be critical of actually is the most powerful way to begin shifting those and moving forward. So this affirmation or aspiration number 2 reads like this: I aspire to live free of all regret, remorse, and resentment, and look at every perceived mistake or failure as an essential learning experience. So this continues kind of that theme of non-judgmental self. So this lesson is going to have 3 key points to it, which most of them will just kind of make it easy to track. And on the tribe calls, the tribe leaders are going to revisit the key points and go into these lessons even further. And in just a moment, we're going to go into breakout rooms to where you and some other men can dive into these key points further. But to give you the heads up, key point number 1, observing self-judgment is more powerful than trying to eliminate it and more effective. Because I don't know about you yet, but I haven't been able to eliminate self-judgment, but I have gotten good at observing it. Point two is going to be about the lie of perfectionism. And then point three, there are no mistakes, only learning experiences. And I have to tell you, as I'm talking right now, I'm feeling a little bit, I guess, of judgment because the sun is getting lower outside my windows. I have the shades drawn, but my camera is not adjusting to the extra light. Can you see my face is getting kind of bright and washed out? I see that. And there's this part of me that's judging it. Oh, fuck, I need to go adjust my camera and adjust the light. And I go, ah. So there I was thinking, oh man, I got to fix it. No, I don't. I'll just be brighter than normal for a little bit. Okay. So observing self-judgment is more powerful than trying to eliminate it. Now, what does that mean? I often tell people I'm a judgmental motherfucker. Now, people often means that I'm really self-judgmental. I actually tend to be a lot more judgmental about other people than I am about myself. I actually think I'm a pretty good dude. But, that's just part of my kind of nice guy. I'm so good, nice guy pattern. But I'd been trying to address this judgmentalness in myself for quite some time. I grew up a fundamental Christian. And, in the fundamental Christian church, there's, all these sins that are going to send you to hell. And one of them was being judgmental. And so I kept, I'm going to go to hell for being judgmental. So I spent a good part of my life trying to not be judgmental, and I just couldn't kick it. And some of you may have heard the story. I remember this had to be 20 something years ago. I was at the gym on the treadmill and just kind of, get my sweat on. And I was looking out windows and I could see people walking on the city streets outside. I could see people inside. And my mind was just criticizing and judging everybody. Hey, I'm Dr. Robert Glover. In case we haven't previously crossed paths, I'm the author of No More Mr. Nice Guy and the founder of Integration Nation, a worldwide community for men. I hope you're enjoying this clip from a recent live Integration Nation call. If so, I encourage you to check out the Integration Nation YouTube channel, where you will find tons of videos, including lessons I teach and interviews I do on these weekly calls. I also publish YouTube shorts, all raw and uncensored. After you've poked around our YouTube channel, go check out Integration Nation at integrationnation.net. With that, I'm in. Back to the video. Oh, fuck, they thought that looked good when they left the house today. Oh, man, that person needs to lose weight. Oh, man, what were they thinking? I was just judging everybody I saw. And I just kind of had, almost a meltdown thinking, why am I being so judgmental of everybody? It was painful. And I thought, I've got to stop being so judgmental. And it hit me right there on the treadmill. Oh, I was being judgmental of being judgmental. And if you kind of think about that for a moment, where's that going to take you? It's not going to work. So I was being judgmental. Like I have to eliminate this trait from my life. And I thought, wait a minute, maybe it would just be more effective if I just observe when I'm being judgmental, because I'm not all the time, but I am sometimes more than others. I mean, anybody else notice that your perfectionism or judgmentalness, both towards self or others, comes up more times than others? So what I started doing was, rather than trying to eliminate judgment, I started trying to observe it and just asking myself, what can this teach me? What can I learn about myself? Now, those of you who are familiar with 12-step programs, they have something that is an acronym called HALT. And it's just the letters: hungry, angry, lonely, tired. Some people put horny in there instead of hungry. But what it basically says, that you're most likely to have an addictive slide back into old bad behaviors when you're disconnected from your basic core feeling states. And when you're hungry, it triggers feeling states. When you're angry, it triggers feeling states. When you're lonely, when you're tired. And so for me, when I start becoming judgmental, first thing I do is I ask myself, what's up? What am I feeling? Am I hungry? Am I angry? Am I lonely? Am I tired? What I've learned about me is I get the most judgmental when I'm stressed about trying to get someplace and there's people blocking me. Slow drivers on the highway, Airports. Oh, I hate the fucking security lines at airports. I'm back there going, haven't these fucking morons ever flown before? Don't they get you? Take your watch off before you get there. Start untying your shoes. Get your computer out of the bag before and so, I just observe that critical, judgmental nature. I soothe it. I try to give myself plenty of time. One of the things I did to make it better, I got a membership in my airline's VIP lounge. I go early to the airport so I don't have to be stressed, and I go hang out in the VIP lounge. That's what I've done. And if I'm not in that rush and crunch, I'm more relaxed. But I've learned to listen to my judgment. It's telling me something. I don't quit trying to be judgmental anymore. I just listen to it. So we can listen to it and make the adjustments, like just leaving a little bit earlier and not rushing and not being in a hurry. So next time you notice yourself being judgmental, just ask yourself, what's really up right now? Judgmental of you, judgmental of others. Okay. Second key point, perfectionism is a lie. Any perfectionists in here? Any perfectionists? Got a few? Yeah, nice guys tend in that direction. Now, it's a lie, mainly because nothing's perfect, and neither are we. And to think that we can be perfect, I mean, that's hubris. Right, right. That's thinking we're godlike, or that's like flying too close to the sun. It's this pride that I can be perfect, I can do it perfect. And really, I think all we're trying to do and trying to get stuff perfect is to not have our shame triggered, to not feel like we're going to get abandoned or judged by other people. That's really all it's about. It's really not about getting anything perfect. We can't do it anyway. And I've said for a long time, most people I know that claim to be perfectionists, they're really imperfectionists. All they see is imperfection. They never actually see what's good and what's good enough, right? They're always looking about what's not good enough. So, and the other kind of side to that is most people I know that claim to be perfectionists actually are pretty imperfect in a lot of ways. So let's let go of this idea that somehow we're going to do stuff perfect. It's okay to bumble our way through life. I often talk about I had a PhD at 29 in marriage and family therapy, and I've been married 3 times, right? I've bumbled my way through every relationship I've had. I used to say, I'm a marriage therapist that's been divorced twice and a dating guru that doesn't have a girlfriend. I was bumbling my way through that too. It's okay. And part of the beauty is we get to teach what we fuck up. I always say, no more Mr. Nice Guy. It's not a chronicle of my successes. It's a record of my fuck ups. It's all the stuff I did that didn't work so good. And I set out to find out, how can I do it better? Not how can I be better, but how can I do it better? Again, good men doing better. So perfectionism is a lie and unattainable. And then third key point, there are no mistakes, only learning experiences. I think maybe I got that from Susan Jeffers in her book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. One of my all-time favorite books. Highly recommended. There are no mistakes, only learning experiences. Every time we bumble, every time we stumble, every time we forget, every time we don't know something, understand it, we're not bad, we're not wrong. It's just something to be learned. It's just something to be learned along the way. Billy Joel has a song about suicide. And there's a line in there that says, our mistakes are really the only thing that we can call our own. They're ours. So let's own them. There's something about owning our mistakes that creates a willingness to be vulnerable, to be seen, that lets us truly connect with other people. Think about this for a second. Do you know anybody? Might be an ex, might be a buddy, might be a family member that cannot own their shit. Do you know anybody like that? How easy is it to get close to them? Do you like being around them? You walk on eggshells around them. You avoid them. But do you know people that are just good at owning their shit? Yeah, I fucked that up. Oh man, that was a mistake. Oh man, I'm sorry, I blew that. Isn't that a hell of a lot easier to be around them? Well, the same's true for us. If we'll own our stuff, it makes it easier for people to be with us and to be around us. Being willing to make mistakes also lets us take risks. I did a drop-in call today, and there were several people on the call that are going to be in the cohort number 2. They're going to be here next week. And there were people from that are in cohort number 1 dropped in, some people from cohort number 2. And I had everybody share, what are you feeling? Where are you at? And a lot of people said, I'm anxious. One guy said, this is my first time ever in any kind of men's program. And I go, you should be anxious. That's normal. But if our anxiety and fear that we'll make a mistake or that we'll look foolish, if that gets in the way, we don't take the risk of doing these things that often turn out to be such blessings in our lives. So our willingness to make mistakes, to bumble, to stumble, to fuck it up, to get it wrong, and learn from it opens us up to both personal growth and just taking all kinds of risks and having all kinds of great adventures in life. And really, all we have to just keep doing in the process is keep asking with every stumble or fumble is just keep saying, what could I have done better? How could I have done that better? No judgment, no shame, no criticism, just how do I do it better? Okay, here's some quick applications. Practice observing your judgments without judgments, and then just practice asking yourself, what is my judgmental state trying to tell me? Just get curious about it, okay? What am I feeling? What do I need to learn from this? And ask yourself, how does perfectionism play a role in your life? And how does it prevent you from just doing good enough? A lot of things we just have to do good enough, right? How does it prevent you from doing better by being a perfectionist? Perfectionists, their motto is, if at first you don't succeed, hide the evidence. Well, how are you going to do better if you keep hiding the evidence of your mistake? Okay. And it'll let you be vulnerable and transparent. And so practice owning your stuff so that you can be vulnerable and transparent.